Okay, let's dive in. We hear it all the time, right? The world is in crisis. And honestly, it's easy to feel kind of stuck. But what if there's a different way to think about all this? A framework that helps us move beyond just surviving and toward actually transforming our future. That's what we're going to explore.
You know that feeling, a sense that the systems we've all counted on are, well, they're breaking down. This quote just nails it. It's that feeling of watching something familiar come apart at the seams, leaving all of us wondering, okay, what's next?
The famous mythologist Joseph Campbell actually had a name for moments just like this. He called it being between stories. The old story, the one we all grew up with, just isn't working anymore. But the new one? It hasn't really been written yet. And that space in between, that's exactly where we are right now. A place of huge uncertainty, yeah, but also incredible possibility.
So this uncertainty brings us to a really big and honestly pretty heated debate in the climate conversation. This whole idea of adaptation. Is it about giving up, or is it about plain and simple survival? For a long time, this has been a huge worry for a lot of people. The fear is that if we focus too much on adapting to what's happening, it's basically like admitting defeat. Are we just raising the white flag and giving up on fixing the root of the problem?
But then there's the other side of the coin. The counter-argument is that maybe adaptation is just reality, a necessary wake-up-and-smell-the-coffee moment that forces us to deal with what's already happening, especially for the most vulnerable people on the planet.
And that's because this isn't just some academic debate. It's a moral one. The people who are getting hit first and the hardest are almost always the ones who did the least to cause the crisis. For them, adaptation isn't some abstract choice. It's what they have to do today to survive. So to reject the idea of adaptation is to basically ignore their reality. It's a profound injustice.
Okay, so we've got this whole surrender versus survival thing going on. But what if that's the wrong way to even think about it? What if the whole debate is based on a false choice? A much more powerful idea is starting to take shape, something called transformative adaptation.
And this, right here, this is the big one. The question that hangs over everything and can just feel so paralyzing. Is it too late? Have we passed the point of no return? Can we actually solve this thing? Well, according to the people behind this new framework, that's simply the wrong question to be asking. What we're dealing with isn't a problem that you can solve like a math equation. It's way bigger than that. It's a predicament, and a predicament demands a totally different way of thinking. And that's where transformative adaptation, or TRAD for short, comes in. See, this isn't about building higher walls to protect a system that's already failing us. It's a completely different approach. It's holistic, it's about justice, and it's all about creating an entirely new and much more resilient system from the ground up.
This comparison really gets to the heart of it. Shallow adaptation is reactive, right? It's like building higher flood walls, which is just a Band-Aid. Or getting more air conditioners, which actually burns more fossil fuels and makes the problem worse. Transformative adaptation is proactive. It addresses the root cause. Instead of higher walls, you restore the wetlands upstream that naturally prevent floods. It's healing the system, not just treating a symptom.
So, okay, how does this actually work in the real world? This whole framework is built on three really core interconnected ideas, or pillars.
The first pillar is land. And this is a really profound shift in how we see things. It's about moving away from seeing land as just a resource, something to be owned and used, and moving towards understanding ourselves as beings who are of the land. We're part of it, deeply connected to a specific place. The second pillar is community. The idea here is that we aren't just a bunch of separate, isolated individuals bumping into each other. We are fundamentally part of a superorganism. It speaks to this deep human hunger we all have for real connection, especially in a world that can feel more and more lonely.
And the third pillar, transformation, is the one that ties it all together. This is the inner work. It acknowledges that all these external crises we're facing are, at the root, a reflection of an internal one, a spiritual crisis of values, of meaning. And that means real change requires a fundamental shift in our mindset and our heart set.
Okay, so with these pillars as our guide, land, community, and transformation, the final piece is about how we actually collectively build this new world. And it starts not with policies or technology, but with our own imagination.
Ever wonder why it feels so hard to imagine a truly different future? Well, this is pretty wild. Neuroscience gives us a clue.
If you think about what you're doing tomorrow, your brain activates just a few regions. But if you try to envision a completely new world, say 10 years from now, your brain has to activate more than double that. It is literally harder work for our brains.
And that brings us to the crucial point. We hear all the time that we lack the political will to make big changes. But maybe that's not the root of it. Maybe we lack political will because we lack a compelling shared story about the future we actually want to create.
This is everything. You can pile on all the data, all the facts and figures you want, but that's not really what changes people's minds. The key is to tell new stories, stories that let us connect, let us imagine, and let us see a path forward that feels not just possible, but actually desirable.
And the amazing thing is, this isn't a job just for politicians or famous artists. It's for all of us. It can start simply. Start by asking different questions with your friends and neighbors. Bring different kinds of people together, artists, engineers, everyone, to dream up what's possible. And start telling stories that bring us together instead of tearing us apart. And that's where this all leaves us. The future isn't some destination that's just waiting for us to arrive. It's something we are all actively co-creating right now. So the real question isn't what's going to happen. The real question is, what part will you play? What new story will you help create?